Cravings happen because we go too many hours without eating. And when that happens, we get low blood sugar. And when we have low blood sugar, our body is in a state of like shock, and it physiologically needs sugar. So your body is screaming for sugar when you have low blood sugar, which is when you haven't eaten in a long time. So how do we start by crushing cravings? We make sure that we eat every few hours. And I know that that can be really hard to do, especially when you're a busy mom, or maybe you're pregnant and not feeling well, and it's hard to eat all the time. But that's why it's so important to be prepared. I love making, on the weekends, healthy baked goods like the one I'm going to show you today, because they feel like an indulgence. It's so crazy that you can make healthy food taste so delicious. And so my way of making sure that I don't get cravings and that I eat right and don't overeat and don't binge eat is I always make sure that on the weekends I make 1 to 2 batches of something that I enjoy. So I am a chocolate girl. I love chocolate. So I always make sure I have some sort of chocolate chip cookie, chocolate chip pancake, chocolate chip muffin, or these little fudgy brownie bites that I am going to make today that are full of healthy carbs, super high in protein, and just such an indulgence. So the other amazing thing about this recipe that I'm gonna share with you today is that the cleanup is super easy. You just make this all in the food processor. So I've got my food processor here, and not too many ingredients, which is really great. Now this is gonna blow your mind. I am using 1 can of black beans. So I've got a can of black beans right here, rinsed and drained, and I'm just gonna throw these into the food processor. Then I'm going to add 2 tablespoons, 3 tablespoons of coconut oil. And so I've got coconut oil. I have this big jar here that I get at Walmart. It lasts forever. So here's 1. And it doesn't really need to be liquid because we're gonna puree it all right here in the food processor. 2 and 3. And sometimes at the end of the recipe, I see the consistency. I'll add a little bit more of the liquid ingredients, but so far right now, I'm going for 3 tablespoons of coconut oil. If yours is already like liquefied, sometimes if you have it in a little bit of of more heat, then it turns liquid, so that's totally okay. I'm gonna do 2 whole eggs. You could do 1 egg and 2 egg whites, that would be just fine, but 2 whole eggs in this huge batch, it's gonna make so many little muffins. I'm gonna make this in a little mini muffin pan sheet. Ooh, here we go. So I'm gonna make them in there. I'm not sure how many of these are gonna make, but we'll see. So I'm going to do 5 packets of stevia because the black beans, of course, are not sweet, so we really have to sweeten it up. So I'm gonna do 5 of these. And when you make these, you can decide if you want to make these a little bit sweeter, you can add more stevia, or if you want them less sweet, you could add less. That's my oven. I've got preheating at 350 degrees. You could also, if you don't like stevia, you could use coconut sugar, you could use brown sugar, you could use monk fruit extract. So you would use about, I would say 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar or coconut sugar or monk fruit extract. I'm gonna do vanilla extract. So I'm gonna do 1 teaspoon of that. Give it some richness and some depth of flavor. This is 1/2 teaspoon, so I'm gonna do 2 of these. And I am going to do 1.5 teaspoons. Let me clean this up. I'm gonna do 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. So I got my baking powder here, and I'm gonna do 3 of these because remember this is 1/2 teaspoon. 1, 2, and 3. These are so fudgy and delicious. You're not even gonna believe how good these are. And these really do the trick. Like even sometimes when I'm just like craving something sweet, maybe after a meal, you feel like kind of like having dessert, I don't even need like a whole little bite. Like I'll have 1/2 of one and I'm good. Like it just gets rid of that little sweet tooth, that little sweet craving that I had. And it's healthy, it's full of protein, so it holds me over for a little bit longer, and you don't have to feel guilty about it, which is what's really great. I'm gonna do cocoa powder. I have organic cocoa powder. This one I get at Walmart, and it's a great one, good one. So I'm gonna do 3/4 of a cup of cocoa powder. This is what's gonna really make it super fudgy. You would not believe, like I have made these before, and I have these other this other brownie recipe that I make with black beans, and nobody could ever tell that they are made with black beans. It's crazy. And then I'm going to add, so we've got the beans are really, so many people think that the beans are protein, but they're really not. They're considered a protein if you pair them up with something like quinoa, but by themselves, they're mostly carbs. They have a little bit of protein, but they're mostly carbs. So I wanna make sure I add some protein. So I'm going to add Empower, which is a protein powder that was specifically formulated for pregnancy and breastfeeding moms. This is so amazing. It also counts as a prenatal. It has a multivitamin in it. It has B vitamins, which help with energy, help with nausea. It has folate in it. It has prebiotics and probiotics and digestive enzymes, which also makes it so easy on the gut. So many protein powders make you feel gassy and constipated, and this does not do that because it has the probiotics in it and the digestive enzymes, so it's really easy on the gut and actually also helps digestion, so that's really great. I'm gonna add 2 scoops of this to make sure that we add some good protein to these, and that is it, my friend. Then we're gonna puree it, and I already greased this little mini muffin pan. You can totally make these in regular muffin pan if that's what you have. I just like to make little bites. I sprayed this down with avocado oil spray. You could use coconut oil spray or olive oil spray. Just what I do is I spray it down, and then I take a paper towel and I just clean the excess off. So I just literally go one by one and do this, just to make sure that I get the excess off and that they're fully coated so that they don't stick. So I'm just gonna run the food processor. You have to pulse so that you really get the beans. These are gonna be so good, such a treat. It's gonna feel like a treat, but it's good for you, which is what's really great about little snacks like this. I love like little chocolate chip cookies. Those are so great, like mid-afternoon when the kids are having a snack. The kids will be having a snack mid-afternoon. That's your chance to sit down and have a snack. So many people try to wait from lunch until dinner to not eat more calories, but what you end up doing is slowing down metabolism, and then you're so hungry because so many hours go by that you either overeat or now you're craving sugar because you have low blood sugar. Remember, I just explained that. So it's such a mess. It's better to just sit down mid-afternoon, have a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, a glass of water, and eat a snack like this. I'm gonna check the consistency, and it is a little bit too thick. So I'm actually going to add, I have a little bit of lactose-free milk here. You can use coconut milk, you could use almond milk, you could use oat milk. I just have some lactose-free milk here. I'm gonna add about a tablespoon, and I'm gonna see what that consistency looks like. So this is super dry right now, it's like pasty. So I'm going to add a little bit more liquid and see how that goes. That's the great thing about cooking and baking, that as you go, you can make adjustments. I always say there's no rules to cooking. A little bit more baking, but when it comes to consistency, as long as you add the right thing, you're good. So let's just see what that looks like. And then at the end, we're going to fold in. Still super duper creamy. I think I'm going to add a little bit. It's a little too thick, so I think I'm gonna add one more little tablespoon of milk. That was a little bit more than a tablespoon. I want them to be a little bit moist, not so like brownie-ish. These are gonna taste very much like a fudgy brownie, but I don't, since I'm making them like muffins, I don't want them to be too thick. I want them to be moist. All right, that looks perfect. I'm going to add dairy-free chocolate chips. You know, I love these. These are Enjoy Life. and they are dairy-free. If you don't have dairy-free, you don't have to use dairy-free. You can use dark chocolate or semi-sweet chocolate or milk chocolate. This is probably about a 1/3 cup. And then what you do to fold them in, so instead of having to grab your spoon and like fold them in, if you're using the food processor, a great little hack is you just pulse a few times and it just mixes them like perfectly evenly. So you just go like that. If you hold your finger down and just go, it's going to disintegrate the chocolate chips. But this way it just kind of folds them in. So that is it. And then I'm going to grab, oh, this is like perfectly, it kind of is a little bit thicker than chocolate mousse. Check this out. It's a little bit thicker than chocolate mousse. And then I'm just going to put them little bit by little bit, like probably filling them up a little bit more than halfway into the muffin pan. And then I'm gonna put them in the oven for about 15 minutes or so, and we will see what they look like. And look at the final result. How good do these look? Oh. They're so fudgy and chocolatey, but not too sweet. They are perfection. Listen, girlfriend, if you are pregnant and you have been struggling with cravings and not eating enough of the right foods, and you struggle to have snacks in between meals, you've got to try to make stuff like this. I know that you're busy. I know that you're tired, but take a day maybe on the weekend where you're not tired, where you feel a little better, where you have a little bit more time. Get in the kitchen. This took me no time. It took like 6 minutes to prep, and then 15 minutes in the oven while you're doing something else, and you're done, and you've got snacks for the whole week. Sometimes I make some of these. These are a little too rich for the morning for me, but when I make like chocolate chip muffins or chocolate chip cookies or chocolate chip pancakes or something like that, those are so delicious for breakfast as well. So you kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So I really want to encourage you to do this, especially adding Empower, because you're adding protein, which protein is so important. Did you know that protein is the most important nutrient for your baby? You know that your baby's tissues and organs grow from your eating protein? Protein, that's probably why you've heard your doctor tell you several times to make sure you're eating enough protein. So important. It also helps the blood supply from you to the fetus. So that's why it's so important to eat enough protein. And I know during pregnancy, we have such a hard time getting enough protein in, because a lot of times we have aversions and we can't even look or smell a piece of chicken. So being able to add a protein to yummy things like this that you can have for snacks or breakfast is a great way to get some extra protein in, as well as crush your cravings and help you eat healthier and feel satisfied and feel like you're having an indulgence without any guilt. So I encourage you to try these. Make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have so many videos on here: exercise videos, mindset videos, workout videos, recipe videos, all kinds of videos to help you throughout your pregnancy to have a healthy and fit pregnancy, all kinds of videos on how to recover postpartum, all kinds of workout videos once you're a busy mom, and fat loss tips and food label tips. So take a second to browse around right here on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, and tell me, what are you struggling with most with this pregnancy? I would love to know, so that I can create another video that will help answer your questions or help your concerns, or just give you some tips to help you have a more healthy and fit pregnancy. I am Michelle Marie. If you want to try Empower, which is protein powder specifically formulated for pregnancy, I will drop the link right down in the comments so that you can check it out. And if you have been wanting to be more active, wanting to do things that will help you have a healthier, more fit pregnancy, and you just haven't had the energy to start, or you just didn't know where to start, I do have a 21-day pregnancy challenge. It's like a little jumpstart that helps you with mindset, helps you with nutrition. I give you a meal plan for 2 weeks. I give you a short quick little workout plan that you can do from home that is really a great jumpstart that's gonna help you believe in yourself, show yourself what you're capable of, and see amazing results in just 3 weeks. So check that out. I'll drop that link in the comments as well, and I will see you soon.